Howdy folks, and welcome to another edition of Storytime with Andy. You know, I have a whole quadrilogy of cat poems. This is number 4 in the series, and it's a true story about a good friend of mine. I'm not going to tell you his name, but his initials are Darren Little. This is called That's Entertainment. Darren showed up at the local coffee shop like he does on Sunday mornings, but this time looking like a lion tamer who had failed to heed the warnings. His forearms and fingers were scraped, scratched, and scabbed as if he had choked a weed eater. He confessed he felt as if he had fallen into a giant egg beater. But the story was not a glamorous one, like fighting a moose with a bat. Turns out that Darren had a wrestling match with his daughter's 4-H show cat. Now, Riley grew bored of the regular projects, the kind that were raised on the range, so she asked her dad if this year she could take one of their barn cats for a change. Anxious to teach her the value of livestock, Darren opted to acquiesce. Old Fluffball would be her 4-H show kitty, and he cursed the day he said yes. Now, Fluff was as homely as a 2-track dirt road, but for a barn cat, he was really quite tame. And he looked like he was crossed with an Angora goat and built on a jackrabbit's frame. But after a little bit of Mama's shampoo and some aqua velva for smell, Fluff was ready for the county fair show ring, and Darren for his foray in hell. The encounter started out quite innocently until Fluff succumbed to the shakes. It all went downhill like a radio flyer full of fat kids without any brakes. Poor old Fluffball was a heck of a mouser, but he'd never been to town, so when prodded by feline arbitrators, that is when the fracas went down. Fluff squirmed like a bobcat in a gunny sack, and Darren leapt to save his daughter. Logic was obliterated by instincts as he dove headlong in the slaughter. Certain he could cowboy his way through this, he grabbed old Fluff by the scruff of the neck, and while most cats go limp, old Fluffball went ballistic, spawning a spectacular wreck. It looked like he clutched a runaway grinder armed with razor-sharp teeth and claws, and as he tried to get a grip with his offhand, he was distracted by some applause. A crowd had gathered to witness the showdown. They thought someone was fighting a bear. One guy screamed, "This is the best entertainment we've ever had at the fair." Well, after agreeing to sign autographs later, Darren plunged back into the bout, applying a feline MMA chokehold, hoping the kitty would tap out. Well, Fluff finally agreed to forfeit the match. Right before Darren ran out of blood, lightheaded and woozy, they slunk to the truck and rolled down the lane in the mud. The ride home was uneventful and quiet. Unlike the preceding cat show, Fluffball is in counseling and therapy, and Darren is healing up slow. Everything's back to normal on the ranch. Next time, Riley's taking a steer. But the fair board is now struggling to find a more thrilling act for next year. Hey folks, don't forget to subscribe to my YouTube channel, Andy Nelson, Cowboy Poet and Humorist. See you again.